Greetings and welcome to this tutorial video where we'll be taking you through the reviewer profile for Edge Online to show reviewers how to review any TSRs and PSRs that would have been raised to you. So when you first were signed up onto the system, you must have received an email that gave you your username and your password and a link to the system. So when you click the link, it takes you to our home page where you click on login, and then login takes you to this page. So I'm just putting in the details for reviewer, just for a trainee review, for a test reviewer rather. So ensure that when you put in the password, either type the individual characters manually, or if you're going to copy, then ensure that you do not copy any characters or any space above the actual characters, as the system would actually interpret that as an extra character on the password. Then you click on login. So when you log in, it shows you the dashboard for the trainee or the dashboard for the reviewer, which shows you the reviewer's name, so task 3 reviewer 1, and then the TSRs and PSRs that have been raised by trainees to this particular reviewer. So on this bottom or on this top right corner, if you click on that particular section, it shows you the different profiles that you can switch to. So if you, for instance, you are a reviewer and evaluator, or you reviewer, evaluator and assessor, you can just come and switch your profile there to whichever profile you want to use there without having to sign out and then sign back in. Then it shows you on the left hand side, there is the dashboard icon there. Then there is reviews, which shows you the open items and the closed items that have been raised to you. So open items you have not yet reviewed, closed items you are not done with that review. And then learner section shows you all of the trainees who are within the training office and when they joined the system. And then the view records item actually helps you to actually assess some of the records for the trainee. So you can go back to the dashboard. Now it shows us there the list of the reviews and the trainee and its status. So we are mainly concerned about the ones that are not yet completed. So we can start with the TSR. So the TSR, once you click it, it shows you your name as the reviewer, the client's descriptions of bank reconciliation, the days worked by the trainee, and then the other indicators that influence complexity box there. You can, it's an optional box, so it's for reviewer. When you actually then get to comment on whether it's advanced or basic within the task, you can indicate here what factors are going to affect your complexity there, but it's not mandatory, so you can just proceed. Once you proceed, we're mainly concerned about any sections that have ticks under T. So T is for trainee and R is for reviewer. So you go to each of the sections that have T's there, and then you look for the tasks raised by the trainee. So they prepares or evaluates reconciliations. So trainee said their rating is 4A. So the system pre-populates your rating as reviewer to that of the trainee, so 4A. If you do not wish to disagree with the trainee, you can just leave it like that and then put in your comments. So please note that comments are mandatory for each section. And then you select the complexity there. Is it basic or advanced? Let's say it was advanced. And then from there, we click on submit right at the bottom corner. When you say OK, the system will redirect us back to the cover page that is all the TSRs and PSRs, or rather within this TSR, all the tasks that have been raised by the trainee. We go again to identifiers and documents there. And then for this one, let's say for instance we disagree with the trainee's rating, we need to click on capture rating. And then we start the process of answering questions to determine a rating. So do trainees receive direction? Let's say perhaps it's a no. And then can they demonstrate? Let's say perhaps yes. Once you click on yes, there it tells us the rating, path A, rating level 4. So you just click on that task. So the system will not allow you to actually go in and input a rating manually, but there is 0 there. So in a case where a trainee has actually raised a review and you as reviewer feel that for this particular assignment that task was not covered, then you can actually raise it as 0, in which case the system nullifies that particular SR. And then we put in the comments, which are mandatory. And then from there, trainee comments and then complexity, let's leave it as basic this time. Then we submit. So it informs you there's been a rating difference. So competence was saved successfully. However, there is a rating difference and trainee has been notified. So Edge Online will send an email to the trainee for every single task where there's been a rating difference with you as the reviewer, and then the trainee would then have to choose whether they will accept or reject that particular change and then proceed. So if we're now done in the normal areas with ticks, we can click at the right at the bottom there on document complete. Once you do that, sign off successful. So we're now done with this TSR. But please note, you will not be able to sign off a TSR without commenting on each and every single section that the trainee has raised. The same applies for a PSR. So we now click on that PSR that was open, and then from there, reviewer name, the client description, client, days worked, and then we click on continue. Once again, we need to look at all the areas where there are ticks. So for professional conduct, it doesn't have a rating, so it just tells us the evidence raised by the trainee, which is a WhatsApp message, and then the comments, and then we need to put in comments as trainee, as reviewer, and then trainee comments are there, we can actually view them. And then this box right here at the bottom, I don't agree with the evidence, is in a case where you as the reviewer do not agree with the evidence raised by the trainee. But if you do agree, then there's no need to tick that box. And then we scroll to the bottom and then click submit. Okay. Then if we're done with that particular SR now, we wait for the system to redirect us, and then we click on the next one where there is a tick to show that trainee did some work. And then there, rating 3, path I. So for instance, if we want to disagree with trainee, remember, we need to go through the process of actually answering the decision tree. Do they require guidance? Perhaps it's a no. And then can they demonstrate? Yes. Then we click on the rating there. And then we also put our comments since they are mandatory. And remember, if you don't wish to disagree with trainee, then you can just leave the rating as is and just put in your comments. If we're now done, we scroll to the bottom there and then click on submit. And then it tells you again there, the trainee has been notified of the rating difference. So it actually just shows us that there is an email that has now been sent to trainee. We check to see if there are any other areas. If there is nothing else raised by the trainee, we click on document complete. So once we complete this process, our job as the reviewers is actually done, and then it's now up to the trainee to actually go and clear the rating differences that we would have raised. But otherwise, at this point, we are done. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. Thank you so much for your time.